For the first time in more than a year, former President Donald Trump returned to X and went on the attack against his opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris, during a nearly 2-hour conversation with tech billionaire and the platform's owner, Elon Musk.
They're doing it right now while this third-rate phony candidate. Don't forget, I beat Biden. He failed in the debate miserably. We cannot have a Democrat. We cannot have her. She's incompetent. She's as bad as Biden.
Joining us now is NBC's Chris Pallone live from Washington. So, Chris, talk about this conversation on X. What did Mr. Trump's team hope to gain from this event, and how much of a blow was it, if any, to the Harris camp?
Yeah, hi, Jennifer. Well, first of all, we've seen this before in that it had some tech issues, which, we'll never really know whether it limited the audience for this. It took some 45 minutes for it to be straightened out, for the event to finally begin. And then once it did, it lasted for over 2 hours. It really was a free-flowing conversation between former President Donald Trump and his pledged supporter, Elon Musk, where they touched on a lot of different things, some of it relevant to the presidential race, other parts of it not really relevant at all. It's clear that the Trump team feels, first of all, that they have to keep Elon Musk happy. Musk has come out and endorsed the former president. He did that last month. And he also said that he would give $45 million a month to one of the Trump PACs leading up to the election. So first and foremost, it looks like the former president has to keep him happy. He hadn't appeared on the X platform. You remember, he was a prolific tweeter back when it was Twitter, and he hasn't been on there in about a year or so. And so obviously that was goal number one. Goal number two is to reach those voters that maybe don't traditionally consume what we would call legacy media or mainstream media at points that conversation had something like 1.2 million listeners going on, and the Trump campaign and Elon Musk claimed that after it was resent out and retweeted, if you will, up to 1 billion people took part in it. We have no way of verifying that, though.
Chris, on the Democratic side, we are expecting Vice President Harris to lay out her economic policy in a speech Friday in North Carolina. What are we expecting to see in her plan here?
Well, first and foremost, it sounds like, the Harris campaign has been criticized for not really having a lot of policy issues outlined so far. They're working on that this week ahead of next week's Democratic National Convention. But she will start to try things out. Thursday, there will be an official event with the White House on a similar topic. And then Friday, she will hold a campaign event in North Carolina where she's expected to talk about her plans to try to lower costs for middle-class Americans and also combat what she's calling price gouging by corporations. We know that inflation has played a large part in the higher prices that Americans are paying, but there are a lot of corporations out there that are making record profits as well and seem to be taking advantage of that. We expect her to discuss that on Friday.
NBC's Chris Pallone. Chris, thank you so much for that insight tonight. Well, you can join NBC News for special coverage of the Democratic National Convention you just heard mentioned there from Chicago, co-anchored by Lester Holt and Savannah Guthrie. It starts Monday at 10 p.m. right here on 11 Alive.